Hey everybody, okay, this is going to be some Massachusetts flashcards to review and get you ready for your real estate examinations. I hope you enjoy them, and without further ado, let's get into it. Title 5. Title 5 governs the installation, use, and maintenance of private septic systems in Massachusetts. Dual agency. Dual agency is when a broker or salesperson represents the buyer and the seller in the same transaction. Note, the dual agency is legal in Massachusetts as long as it is disclosed and agreed upon by both parties. Mass General Law, Chapter 93H. Mass General Law, Chapter 93H outlines the responsibilities of the businesses regarding consumer privacy and protection against security breaches of private information. Surety bond. Surety bond. Used to compensate an aggrieved party who files a legitimate claim against a broker who mishandles funds. Please note that here in Massachusetts, it requires all brokers to have a $5,000 surety bond.
Hey everybody, did you know that we offer a Massachusetts real estate course? And whether you still need to take your 40 hours, or whether you want to retake it for a review, or if you just know someone that wants to get started, check us out at Host Group Real Estate Academy. I'm going to drop a link below, and we're offering a killer deal right now. I've taught thousands of students over the years, and I'd love to have you in an upcoming class.
Net listing. A net listing is a listing agreement in which the broker gets to keep the difference of a property's sales price over what the seller stated was their desired price. Please note that here in Massachusetts, net listings are illegal. Discharge of mortgage. The discharge of mortgage is a document stating that a mortgage has been paid in full. In Massachusetts, this must be filed at the Registry of Deeds within 45 days of the payoff. Mass General Law, Chapter 151B. Mass General Law, Chapter 151B is Massachusetts fair housing law. It ensures that those in a protected class are not discriminated against when obtaining housing. 12 hours. 12 hours are the required number of hours of continuing education a real estate licensee must complete every 2 years. Stigmatized properties. Stigmatized properties, also referred to as psychologically impacted properties, are properties whose reputation have been negatively affected by events such as murder, suicide, or alleged hauntings. Salesperson pre-licensing requirements. Salesperson pre-licensing requirements. To become a real estate salesperson in Massachusetts, you must be at least 18 years old, take a state-approved 40-hour course, pass a background check, and pass a 2-part real estate licensing exam within 2 years of completing your real estate courses. Chapter 21E. Chapter 21E is the Massachusetts Oil and Hazardous Material Release Prevention Act, also known as the state's Superfund law. It governs the identification and cleanup of oil and hazardous materials in the environment. Lead paint laws. Lead paint laws, enacted to protect children from the dangers of lead paint in homes. Any homes built prior to 1978 has a high risk of lead paint hazard. Security deposit. Security deposit, collected from a tenant before the start of the rent term, can be used by a landlord for any property damage or unpaid rent. Please note, in Massachusetts, a security deposit cannot exceed the amount of 1 month's rent. Facilitator. Facilitator, also known as a transaction broker, completes the real estate transaction but does not represent either the buyer or the seller. Please note, legal in Massachusetts with the consent from both parties. Chapter 40B. Chapter 40B enables local zoning boards to approve affordable housing developments under more flexible rules than those that govern standard residential approvals. Governor of Massachusetts. Governor of Massachusetts appoints all 5 members of the Massachusetts Board of Real Estate Brokers and Salespersons. Massachusetts Buyer Agency Agreement. Massachusetts Buyer Agency Agreement establishes an agency relationship between an agent and buyer client, must be in writing to be enforceable. Fiduciary duties. Fiduciary duties. The duties and responsibilities owed to a client, not customers, includes care, confidentiality, loyalty, obedience, and accounting. Continuing education. Continuing education. Real estate brokers and salespersons in Massachusetts need to complete 12 hours of continuing education every 2 years. Caveat emptor. Caveat emptor. Massachusetts is a caveat emptor or buyer beware state. This means that the buyer is solely responsible for inspecting the property and performing due diligence to be aware of its condition before purchasing it. McCarthy v. Tobin. McCarthy v. Tobin. Massachusetts case law which determined that an offer to purchase real estate is a binding legal contract. Tax stamps. Tax stamps, a fee collected by the Department of Revenue when a property is sold, typically paid by the seller. The Board. The Board, short for the Massachusetts Board of Real Estate Brokers and Salespersons, licenses and regulates the real estate professional, businesses, and schools in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. MAR. MAR stands for the Massachusetts Association of Realtors, a professional trade association of real estate professionals in Massachusetts. Hey everybody, I hope you're finding this flashcard review helpful, and just wanted to really quickly let you know that if you're looking for printable versions of these flashcards, we offer them for sale really inexpensive, and I'll put the link in the description below. You're going to find them pretty helpful if you're a kinesthetic learner. I like to have feel the pages of a book and feel the flashcards and look at them, so it's pretty helpful. It's also a great way to study with family, friends, and that kind of stuff. So link in the description below, and now back to our scheduled programming. Rental fee disclosure. Rental fee disclosure is a form that discloses any broker fees and upfront costs associated with renting a property. Real estate broker. Real estate broker. A salesperson in Massachusetts must work full-time for at least 3 years, take another 40-hour real estate course, pass a 2-part examination, and secure a $5,000 surety bond before they can become a broker. Independent contractor. Independent contractor, a non-employee status where a person performs a service for another but is not controlled by typical rules of employment. Please note that real estate agents and brokers typically work as independent contractors in Massachusetts, not employees. Mass General Law, Chapter 93A. Mass General Law, Chapter 93A is the Consumer Protection Act, protects consumers against unfair and deceptive business practices. Massachusetts Fair Housing Protected Classes. The Massachusetts Fair Housing Protected Classes are veteran status, active military status, age, marital status, children, genetic information, and recipients of public or housing assistance are protected classes in Massachusetts, but not federally. Candidate endorsement. Candidate endorsements. When applying for a real estate license, the applicant must have 3 personal references attest that the candidate is of good moral character. Reciprocity. Reciprocity. The ability to practice real estate between states without retaking all licensing requirements. Please note that Massachusetts has full or partial reciprocity with multiple states. Escrow account. Escrow account, a type of legal holding account where the funds of a transaction are held in a separate account until the transaction closes. These funds are typically applied as credits at closing. Brownfields. Brownfields, former commercial or industrial sites that are believed to be contaminated, thereby affecting future development of the land. Inactive license. Inactive license. In Massachusetts, when a licensee pays their renewal fees but does not complete their required CE in a renewal period, their license becomes inactive. Inactive licensees cannot practice real estate but can collect referral fees. State Sanitary Code. The State Sanitary Code sets the minimum standards of fitness for human habitation. Short-term rental. Short-term rentals are rental periods of 31 days or less. MCAD. MCAD stands for the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination, is a state agency that enforces Massachusetts anti-discrimination laws. Chapter 19A. Chapter 19A is the Department of Elder Affairs. As related to real estate, Chapter 19A oversees the development and management of housing for the elderly in Massachusetts. Rivers Protection Act. The Rivers Protection Act added the newly identified riverfront area to Wetland Protection Act, and it protects 200 feet on either side of riverfront areas and streams, except in certain urban areas where it is 25 feet. Fair housing violations. Fair housing violations. Licensees who violate Massachusetts fair housing laws will face a minimum penalty of a 60-day license suspension for their first offense. Second offenses within 2 years equal automatic minimum 90-day suspensions. Late rent fees. Late rent fees. A landlord in Massachusetts cannot charge a penalty on late rent until 30 days after the due date. Seller disclosure form. Seller disclosure form, a statement of seller's knowledge of the property conditions, and this form can be used but is not required in Massachusetts. Ad valorem taxes. Ad valorem taxes, a tax on the assessed value. Property taxes are determined at the local level, not by the state of Massachusetts. Bait and switch. Bait and switch. When a real estate professional advertises a property listing that is no longer available in an attempt to sell or to rent a different property. Now note that this is illegal in Massachusetts under the Consumer Protection Act. Earnest money. Earnest money, also called a good faith deposit. Earnest money serves as the consideration in an offer to purchase, which is one of the key elements making it the offer to purchase a binding contract. Attorney General. Attorney General oversees violations of consumer protection rights in Massachusetts. Puffing. Puffing is an exaggeration of facts by a seller or their agent to paint a property in a more positive light. Under Mass General Law, puffing is illegal if its intention is to deceive consumers in any way. Material facts. Material facts, a substantial fact or piece of information about a property that would influence a buyer's decision to purchase it or not. Non-material defects. Non-material defects, a relatively insignificant fact or set of circumstances about a property that does not affect its value. Non-material facts do not need to be disclosed in Massachusetts. Section 8. Section 8, a rental housing assistance program in Massachusetts designed to help low-income renters find safe, affordable housing. Per Mass General Law, Chapter 151B, those receiving housing assistance cannot be discriminated against. Hey everybody, thank you very much for checking out our flashcard review. I hope you found it helpful. If you take the examination and you found that it helped you pass, let us know in the comments. That would be super awesome. We love listening to that. One of the big things that we love to do is we like to dedicate ourselves to our students and listen to the comments and feedback. Don't forget, we also offer these flashcards that are printable for sale. The link in the description below. And if you like the content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We also have tons of questions and all kinds of stuff that are available on our YouTube channel for preparation for examinations in real estate. Good luck with your studies and good luck on your exams. And thanks for checking us out. I look forward to having you in a session coming up.